Here we're going to have a small overview of some of the many trade packs that are available from Trend. Okay, now some of them look the same, some of them have very subtle differences. So you can either get them a cutter in a single format, you'll find that you can buy the cutter in multiple packs, makes buying slightly cheaper, all nicely packaged, some of the cutters. And you can even get cutters, instead of being multiples of one, we can get multiples of variants in a pack. So always good to look to see what you actually need to do and pick up a pack that suits your needs. So if we go to one of the most commonly used cutters, as you can see, this is a nice replaceable pack, top comes off, use it to store. Good thing about this, instead of it rolling around on the dashboard of the van or in the bottom of the toolbox, which will damage the cutting edge, slot it back in, put the top back on, etc. Now this, as we all know, is a twin fluted router cutter, and this is ideal for doing your worktops. Now again, not wishing to teach everybody to suck eggs, but some of you may or may not know, you get different forms of this type of cutter. Okay, you can have different cutting lengths, but predominantly the main difference is on the bottom. When you look at the bottom of a cutter, it will either come with like an extra grinding, like a little tiny slot, okay, or it will come without. If it comes without, it means it will not plunge. So on certain applications, the cutter might appear to be cheaper from various places, but it will be no good. So if you're looking to plunge, which means you want to push the cutter directly down and it cuts downwards, you need to make sure. Now this is highlighted in these two kits here. These two kits here look really, really similar, okay? Slight differences is it's just the colouring of the pack. One's slightly more opaque. That should give you an indication that something's different. You take the top off, and this one has 3 cutters, and similarly, this one has 3 cutters. The main difference is on the label. This one says TR17D, and this one is TR17, okay? The main difference is that the TR17D says with centre tip. That centre tip is important because that gives you the plunge cut, whereas the TR17s don't have a plunge cut. Other than that, if you're using them for worktop jigs, we generally cutting in, we're not plunging down, so both are as good as, but if you're looking for the plunge, then make sure you have it on your list of requirements. Right, we've chosen these packs to look at because they're predominantly kitchen fitter related packs. So we've got our kitchen twin fluted cutters for use with our worktop jigs, and in here you notice you've got 2 cutters. There is a profiler, and also there's this little thin cutter on the end here, which most of us know we can use as a biscuit jointer. So if you don't own a specific biscuit jointer, you can actually use your router. This cutter in here, as you can see, is nicely packaged, got bearings on the bottoms. We can actually use the router cutter for cutting the thin biscuits that we go to join worktops together, pieces of wood together, tabletops, etc. You may notice that it comes with a bearing on the bottom. Now the bearing is really, really useful because that sets the depth of your cut. And whether you're cutting down a straight edge or whether you're cutting down a shaped edge, it will maintain that distance at all times. So very, very useful. You don't have to set up a fence. You don't have to worry about guide rails. You don't have to about wobbling with the router because that bearing will be there. Now, obviously, for those of us that are more in the know than others, that biscuits come in different sizes. So you may wish to change a bearing on the bottom. So the bigger the bearing, the less the depth to cut. So that's very, very simple, very, very easy to use. So in the final pack here, it's pretty much the same as what we've got. We have the 2 router cutters. We have the 2, it's called a kitchen fitters pack anyway. It has the 2 router cutters, the 2 1/2" for use on your worktop jigs. It has a profiler with a bearing again, simple. You can make radius cuts, everything. You can follow the profile of whatever you're cutting. And it's giving you the biscuit jointer cutter for use for when clamping up your worktop joints.